Welcome back to another episode of Just My Baby Daddy podcast. It's your favorite baby daddy, AJ, and today we're going to have a conversation about something that was left in the comment section. It was a question that was asked, and I had to think about it and what advice would I really give? The person in the comments asked, "What advice would I give to them as they're on their way to have their first baby?" And I had to really think about it, and it's three things that really stood out to me. It is be present, be available, better than me. I say that. I say that because especially with my last one, I made the mistake of not being present. I was present in the physical state, like I'm always going to be there, but I wasn't really there. I had so many other things, so many other emotions, so much. I wasn't present in where I should have been present in, and that is to be there for the birth of my child. My last situation with my last child, we got to the hospital. We was in hospital for over a week before the baby was actually born. During that time, I was still working. I'm going back and forth, still seeing the other kids and trying to, you know, be there with my child's mother for the birth of the child and trying to do everything in everybody in every place to everybody at one time and not really focusing on what really matters is bringing this child into this earth. And when that happens, it causes all kind of chaos, not just within my life, but it causes stress to the mom. And that's unfair because any stress to the mom is stress to the baby. And you want to make sure that you're present, you're there, you're active because you can't get that back, right? Like I have so many mistakes that I feel like I had, especially, and I'll go back through, and I'm gonna talk about all of because I love all of my kids. I was actually there for all of my kids' birth. I don't want to act like I wasn't around or anything. Of course, I'm around, but I want to focus on you. You got to be there because when I wasn't there, it left her to be alone. To be honest, no child or no woman should feel like they're bringing a child into the world alone. And I'm going to say if you're at the point where you know you're about to be in the hospital, you know you got to work, you feel like you got to maintain, you got to do everything, bro, everything will be okay. Just take a second, take a pause and be there for the birth of your child. Be there with the woman that's giving birth to your child because that whole situation, you'll realize it when you're there, like that whole giving birth thing, when you in the room and you see it, like it's a like my first one, for example. I remember being in the room when my daughter was born. This my first child. I'm so excited. One piece of advice before I go any further. I know I'm going all over the place for a little bit, but one piece of advice: stay above. All three. I never went down low. That's another thing. I don't go below I don't go below the neck. It'll be neck up. All our conversations are neck up. I don't need to cut no cords. I don't need to do any of that. I just need the baby to be safe and we're fine. Like my first time when Aubrey was born, I guess it was some kind of complication of some sort. And I remember looking and they pressing a button. And they pressed some button and all the nurses on the floor started running into the room. And like I remember literally like one nurse standing over top of the mom and pushing on her stomach. Like I don't know if they're trying to force the baby out or not. And I could see like in between nurses, like the mom looks at me and like passes out, blacks out. And so in that moment, it's like, you know, I take all the class and you hear all this stuff, but at that moment it's like, oh shit, like this is real. Like when they talk about people die giving birth and stuff, I guess as a man, because we never really have to deal with wanting to die for the baby. Like it doesn't hit the same. But when I was in there and I seen her black out and I seen him pushing on the stomach to try to get the baby out, man, it freaked me out. It completely freaked me out. And they was like, my daughter wasn't moving her arm, and it's just so much. And I can't imagine. And I was totally present in that moment. I can't imagine if I wasn't, right? How alone she probably would have felt. And those type of things, you have to be there. You just have to. Like when my Ari was born, I just remember just she's born and then we gotta rush her to the NICU. You know, in moments like that, if you're not there, the mom can't go anywhere. Who's there with the baby? It's just you and a bunch of strangers. Like no matter your fears, no matter what it is, you got to suck that up and you got to make sure that you be there for this baby, you be there for the mom, and you push through because you got to get this baby here safely. And you know, other little advice, yeah, like when I went there, I had a bottle. Can't lie, I had a bottle. I had a bottle in my book bag every time. You know, the last one I went there, I took this little. I wish I had it here on camera. I had this little fertility thing I got from Egypt. I had that in the room. I had all kinds of stuff. I had the last one. I had slow music, but not slow music. But we had our own little playlist and everything that we got. I know the song that my daughter was born to. Like it's a special thing. It's a special moment. It's a moment that, like I said, you can never get back. It is something that I wish I could go back and change, and I wish I could do a better job of. But it's something that you will never forget for the rest of your life. It is something that you shouldn't fear. It is something that was a blessing to you, and congratulations. And before we go, you know, we talked about the hospital and everything, but there's one thing I really do want to say, and I want to break down, and I want to make sure that I talk about right now, and that is this term. I want to talk about a phrase that I've said before, a phrase that we hear all the time. It's I would die for my kids, right? And I say that, I mean that, no questions asked. I would put my life on the line for my kids every single day. I would die for them to live. But there's something else that I feel like we really need to start doing a better job of, at least that I'm trying to do a better job of, is I want to live for my kids. Like I've come across a lot of it's been a lot of situations lately where I've come across dads that have like either let themselves go from a divorce or just separation from the kids, or it could be anything. It could be you got laid off from your job, and so you're no longer taking care of yourself the way you should. And who's going to be here for these kids, right? Like, we have an option to try to make ourselves the best, to live our best life for these children. We don't have to die for our kids. We could live for our kids to give our kids life. The mental stress and everything that we put on ourselves, that we take upon ourselves for everyone else. And sometimes you also got to make sure you take the time for yourself. I know for me, I always talk about like my kids, my kids, my kids, my kids, my kids. And I never really, yeah, I do. I may play golf. I do that for me. I may go to the gym for me. But even while I'm doing that, I'm not really even clearing my mind, because the whole time now I'm thinking about work. I'm thinking about I got to make sure, if we go into the office or this happens or that happens, and my mind is never clear because I'm always thinking about other people. I'm thinking about work because I'm thinking about I need to make sure I can pay these bills, to make sure daycare, to make sure I pay what I got to pay for my kids. Like it's I have to do this because if not, I want to make sure I pay to keep my kids close to me. I got to. It's so much stuff that we go through all the time that I don't know if we take the time to just say, "Yo, calm down, settle down, breathe." And I'm not saying it as a judgment type of thing, because I am guilty as hell of it. Like I I got to the point where about 2 weeks ago, I was completely overwhelmed. I'm be honest. I was completely overwhelmed. It was a day. in which I had all three. I had to work. I had stuff going on at 6 a.m. I had stuff going on at 12. I had stuff going on at 2 while also working and dealing with all three kids. And I felt myself couldn't even breathe. And then I had to think about it and say to myself, like, it's like, yeah, I would die for my kids. I would give my life to my kids, but I don't have to do this way. It doesn't have to be this way. Like, I need to take the time to focus, get my mind right, get my breathing together, get everything together. If not, I cannot be there for these kids in the way that they need or the way that I need to be there to help be there provider for these children. When your plate is full, sometimes you got to start taking things off your plate. Like, whatever that may be. I'm not here to tell anybody what they have that they can cut back on, but we need to start looking at what's really important to us, and the things that's not, we got to start taking off our plate. And whether not just that, we also got to pick and choose our time with communication, our time with our energy. Like, can't communicate with anybody. If I'm be back and forth and arguing with you, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's not worth it. Like, if I'm going to be in a bad mental state when I'm having a conversation with you, then I'm just not having a conversation. You got to do things to protect yourself, because at the end of the day, ain't nobody protecting us. And I am not a woe is me type of dude. I am not like, oh, black men got it hard. Man, fuck all that. People got it hard. It's not a black man thing, not a black woman thing, not a white man, not an Asian, not none of that. Nobody's looking out for you but you. Got it hard. Figure it out. Push through, because the kids need you, and you need to live for the kids, not just die for them. Live for the kids, live for yourself. You can't do it over again. You can't, can't go back to life. You can't come back. Once it's over, once you played those hands that you have, those cards are dealt, can't go back. So I implore you to figure out whatever it is you need to do to take care of yourself, make yourself feel good. Do that. Episode of Just My Baby Daddy podcast. I know you liked what you saw. So what I need for you to do is go back and look at past episodes. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share our YouTube page, Just My Baby Daddy Podcast. And you can follow us on all social media at Just My Baby Daddy Pod.